know. Oh, we've had terrible news this week. A little visit to the doctors over the last few days, boys and girls. A little visit to the doctors. You know that fluttering that I get in my chest? I mentioned it a while ago when I was having a sore throat and all that. Well, the fluttering kind of is still there. It's... I don't know. I mean, it's not all the time. Now and again, I get an odd feeling here. No pain, no strange heartbeat, nothing like that. Just an odd feeling right here. I suppose it's kind of just to the left of the chest bone. Very, very strange feeling. I don't believe it's anything wrong with my heart or anything like that, because of all the fitness and all the swimming and all the cycling I can do without any problem at all. I don't get short of breath or anything. Only time I get short of breath is when I have a bit of asthma. That's about it. It's very odd. So I went down the doctor's this week, and he's like, and he done blood pressure and all that. That's all okay. Very strange. And he says, do you drink much coffee? And I said, no, I don't drink any coffee at all. He said, tea? I said, yes, I drink a lot of tea. How much? I said, 7 or 8 large cups a day. Okay, he said, cut that back. I said, to what? He said, 3. 3 cups of tea a day I'm having to survive on now. Do you know what that's like? That's like a drug addict being asked to give up his heroin. It really, in fact, I might even take up the heroin now because I can't cope without my tea, dear. What's it like to drink a glass of heroin? Do you know? Oh, I can't be doing with the injections. Don't tell me that I'm going to have to inject myself. Oh, do you know what it's like not being able to drink tea? Oh dear. Well, I'll tell you what, I've replaced it. What I've done, I used to have a tea. For example, on a day I create one of these shows, I'll have a cup of tea as soon as I get up and breakfast. Although I haven't had breakfast today yet, I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait till I've spoken to you, my darling. I couldn't wait to get up here today. It's like, you know, when the show finishes and then you go your way and I go my way. It's like 2 friends being parted company, or even, you know, it's like a member of your family, even closer than friends. You are like a member of the family, and then when the show finishes, we are dragged apart unceremoniously, against our wishes. And then when it comes time to coming to see you again, I can't wait. I can't wait to get into your little mind again. It's true. Anyway, and that's what it's like, me not drinking tea. So what I do is I have a cup of tea in the morning, usually with my breakfast. If it's a show day, like today, then I'll do a show and have another cup of tea. Okay? Then I'll go and do something, depends what day it is. If it's a Sunday, I might go for a nice walk over the forest, which isn't far away, or maybe into town, or a cycle or something like that. I'll come back and have a cup of tea. That's 3. And then at lunchtime, my lunch is actually quite close to breakfast, and all my meals are fairly close to each other, as you're about to find out. So I'll have breakfast usually about 10 o'clock in the morning, because I've been getting up quite early recently. Well, early for me recently. Between 9 and 10 is breakfast. Lunch is at about 2 o'clock, and then dinner is at about 7 o'clock. And then I usually have a bit of toast when I come in, although last night, bless me, Suko, for I have sinned. Last night on the way home, I found it necessary to stop at the petrol garage and purchase 2 Cadbury's Creme eggs for 85p, and I had both of them within 10 minutes. Fat pig! That's me, lovey! Fat pig. I was tempted the other day, because I was in the local supermarket to purchase that you can buy actually 6. Do you get Cadbury's Creme eggs wherever you are? We have them in the UK. You must do, surely. Oh, they are delicious. Not the caramel ones. I find them a bit oh no, don't like those. The Cadbury's Creme eggs with the white and yellow sort of sweet inside that just oozes out as you bite the top off the egg. Oh, delicious. And I was tempted the other day because they had a special offer on in Sainsbury's up the road for Cadbury's Creme eggs, and you had 6 in a box for like £1.50, which is of course a lot cheaper than buying them separately. But the trouble is, I will not be able to put those. I will sit here one afternoon and have the blooming lot, and it's not really very good, is it? So that's what I have to do. I have to restrict myself. I like to think I'm a strong-willed person. But when it comes to, I think really the only thing is certain foods that I can't say no to. Chocolate. Someone says, would you like a chocolate? Oh, yes. Crisps, incidentally. I've knocked the crisps on the head for a while. And I've been able to do that. But even then, I think you have to, like, find the time to give up that suits you. It doesn't always suit everyone, you know. So, at the moment, I'm finding it hard to reject the gorgeousness of the cream egg. But maybe in a few weeks' time, I think, yep, I don't need those anymore. And then I can stop again. I don't know if that's strong-willed or not. At the moment, I'd love to have another one of them. I really would like another Cadbury's cream egg. So I can't buy things in bulk like that. I can buy things in bulk like, I don't know, frozen vegetables or packets of, I don't know, things for the freezer. Maybe packets of haddock fish or anything like that. But chocolate, crisps and biscuits, no. Once they're in the cupboard, they have to be eaten. They have to be eaten. So that's when I have my meals. Breakfast usually about 10 o'clock, lunch at about 2 o'clock, and then dinner at about 7 o'clock at night. So that's how I work. But there's nothing really in between dinner and breakfast other than a bit of toast. Or last night, rather naughtily, 2 Cadbury's cream eggs. Do you like? Oh, they're gorgeous, dear. I hope someone gets me, because Easter is only round the corner, isn't it? And we know that because spring is in the air. Spring is in the air. As you saw a few shows ago, we did one in the garden because it was a beautiful day. All my crocuses, well, I say the crocuses are up. I don't know so much because like a few days ago we had the most dreadful rain here, and the trouble is all my crocuses in the garden, the little purple and white ones and yellow ones I think I had, and they were all erect out of the garden. We had the rain, and the next morning they were all leaning over, like they've done everything they can do, and they'd been chucked over by the reindeer. So remember that, lads. Any trouble with erect crocuses, keep them out of the heavy rain, because it's not going to do you any good. They will start leaning over, and then, you know, your garden display is spoilt. Strangely enough, the snowdrops, because I've got it all in my garden, you know. The snowdrops were unaffected by the rain. They are still standing proud and erect. They really are. But the crocuses, limp as anything, laying down on the grass. Ladies, what can you do with those there? What can you do with a limp crocus? Nothing at all. That's it. Anyway, they're poor things. They're just laying on the ground, ruined. Now, where were we? We were talking about summer then, weren't we? Yes. Oh, it's beautiful out there. It's quite a nice day today as well. The sun has got its hat on. Hip, 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 hooray! The sun has got its hat on, and we're going out to play. Oh, yes, I remember now, the doctor. So that's it, really. The doctor has told me to cut down on the tea, 3 cups of tea a day. Oh, where were we? Oh, yes, 4 cups of tea. This is a bit random today, isn't it? Oh, come on. Those of you who are about to criticise the show should know by now we don't do a hard-hitting news show. Some people are surprised that this programme hasn't yet been taken up by BBC Radio 4 or something like that. But, you know, we remain in hope. We are hopeful. Incidentally, talking of radio stations, we must welcome people who've been with us for a couple of weeks ago now, who listen to Bracknell's new community radio station from my own hometown where this programme is recorded. The people of Bracknell, my dear, dear friends, have joined us as well on their community station. So a warm welcome along to you. There's an email address to the show. My name's Chris Reardon. The email address is chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. And if you are new and in the Bracknell area, you might like to know we've been doing the show since October 2005 here from Bracknell in Royal Berkshire, and it's quite nice to be on your own local station, so welcome along. chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk is the email address. What's the show about? Oh, it's just a bit of friendly banter. It's like having a few people round for a cup of tea and a slice of cake. And on very bad days, a Cadbury's cream egg as well. Send them in. You can always send in things, you know, Cadbury's cream eggs and things. There is an address which I'll give. I'm not begging for. Don't start sending Red Cross food parcels, for Christ's sake. There's people in more need than me. My cupboards are full. My box is full downstairs of little items of food. Don't worry. But I will give you the address in a minute, because I'm always well aware that people do listen to this on FM and don't have internet access. So I'll give you the address in a minute. Did you hear me cough then or not? You shouldn't have done. Let me try that again. No, you didn't. No, it's my little cough button there. Now, where was I? Oh, yes, cups of tea. So we have... so I had been having sort of 2 before midday. 1 when I got back from whatever I was doing, either having a walk or gone swimming. Then I'd have 1 at lunchtime, so that's 4 now, okay? Then I'd probably have 1 before my afternoon siesta, because I always go to bed in the afternoon, so that's 5. And these are large cups, although I don't think the cup size matters, does it? All right? If you're still using 1 tea bag, then surely it matters not whether you're using a large cup or a small cup. The same amount of tea's in the cup, isn't it? It's just more diluted. Anyway, so that's 5. And then I'll probably have another cup of tea just before I go to bed, back to bed for my siesta. That's... Oh, is that right? Did I do that one already? Hang on a minute. There was 1 for breakfast. No, 1 when I get... 1 for breakfast. 1 before I leave the house. 1 when I get back to the house. 1 for lunch. I've missed 1 out, haven't I? Hang on, just a minute. 1 for breakfast. Another 1 just before I go out. 1 when I come back. 1 for lunch. 1 just before I go to bed. That's right, 5. Then I have 1 when I get up again early evening. That's 6. Sometimes I'll include this one. I have 1 at work, so that's 7. And then I'll have another 1 when I get back from work early hours of the morning and go to bed. So that's 8 cups of tea a day. Is that a lot? I don't think it's a lot. It's not much to ask for someone who doesn't drink, smoke or take drugs, although I may have to take up all 3 if I can't continue drinking my tea. Is that the thing to do, do you think? Can anyone point me in the right direction where I can start smoking again? Because it's been a long time. I used to smoke about... I gave up... Ooh, blimey, 1991 I think I gave up smoking. Best thing I ever did. If you're sitting there having a fag... Please don't come near me while you're smoking. Although I have to say, when fit lads come up and talk to me wherever I am working, and they've just had a cigarette, I know you'll find this hard to believe, and I'd like to know if anyone else actually likes this. I do quite like the smell of a cigarette on a fit lad's breath. Yes, especially if they're trying to chat me up, which hasn't happened for years now, to be honest. But you never know. We live in hope. Does anyone else like the smell of cigarette smoke on someone's breath? Isn't that strange? I don't know why that is. I do quite like that on someone's, you know, as long as they're reasonably good looking. We can't have any mingers coming up and smoking in my face, if you don't mind. Thank you very much. I know I'm a minger myself. That's the way it is, isn't it? Do you like cigarette smoke on someone's breath? Let me know. Chris at unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Chris at unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. So, we're on 8 cups of tea at the moment. And now I'm due to cut that down to 3 cups. And actually, over the last... Let me think. Over the last 4 days, it's been 4 days since I saw the doctor. I didn't have time to tell you before the end of the last show. I have actually succeeded in this. So now I have 1 cup as soon as I get up in the morning. I have 1 cup at lunchtime. No, I lie. I lie in your face. Blessed be Suko, for I have sinned once again. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. Amen. I have 1 cup with my breakfast in the morning. I have 1 cup just before I leave for work in the evening. And I have 1 cup when I get in late at night. So there we are. I am down to 3 cups of tea a day. I have to say, the first couple of days, I kept getting headaches. Strange, not, I wouldn't say painful headaches, but nevertheless headaches. And apparently that's due to the withdrawal from caffeine. So I must try. I might go to the supermarket later today, actually, and get some of that caffeine-free tea. What's that like? Does it taste any different? I'll have to try that. Then I can go back to drinking as many as I like, I suppose. But I'm very healthy. I replaced one of those cups of tea, the one with my lunch, with, are you ready for this, boys and girls? With 2 freshly squeezed oranges. Oh, they're delicious. I got the idea from that one because I went out to dinner with my friend Ron after I visited. Remember the eye clinic I told you I went to visit the other day in the Royal-Free Hospital. I stayed at his house that day, and we went out for a little bit of a not a posh meal or anything like that. Well, it was actually a full English fried breakfast. That's what it was. Oh, delicious! Sausage, egg, beans, toast, fried bread. Oh, we love it, and mushrooms, of course, and what's that? Grilled tomato. And I asked for fresh orange juice in there, and I thought it would come out of a carton. Oh, no, they squeeze it there yourself. Now, what was that place called? You've got to go there. It's really fantastic. And all the stars, a lot of stars can often be seen in there because behind this particular place is a recording studio. And loads of stars have been in there. I think Amy Winehouse has been in there, Tom Jones, and loads of people. I can't think what it's called now. The Premises. Let me see if it's on here. And then you can have a look. No, it's lovely. And it's got this, I think she's Italian, the lady who runs the place. She is so nice. She really is so nice. Premises. Now, what area would it be? Let's just type in Premises and see what comes up. Yes, here we are. Look at that. Straight up there. Yes. Let me see. Oh, does it say anything about the... Yes, it does. There's a picture of it here. It's kind of part of... I don't know if it's actually part of the recording studio. But as I say, it's run by this wonderful Italian... I'm sure she's Italian. Wonderful Italian lady who comes in... Or you walk in and she rushes over to the table with the biggest smile that you have ever seen, and it's got to be one of the most friendliest, best service places I have ever been to. And you know what I'm like for service in places, whether it's a shop or a restaurant or anything like that. I don't go to many restaurants. She is not expensive in there either. Very, very reasonable prices. I always like to pass on this information. I'm not getting anything for this. Some people say, oh, you must be getting money for saying that. No, not at all. You've got to go to this place. It's called The Premises. Now, the website for this, and it's really a website which includes the recording studios and everything else. But halfway down the page, you will see a picture of the restaurant. It's premisesstudios.com. I'll spell it for you. Get a pen, all right? Premisesstudios.com. That's PREMISSESTUDIOS.com. You didn't write that down, did you? Shall I do it slower? Okay. ThePremisesStudios.com. PREMISSSTUDIOS.com. The Premises Studios. Remember, there's 2 S's in that. Well, not in the whole thing, but where it says Premises and Studios, there's 2 S's. The PremisesStudios.com. And that's all one word, Premises Studios. And halfway down, you will see a picture of the cafe, which is green, and it says the Premises Cafe opens daily at 8 o'clock, serving continuously from breakfast through to dinner. Fresh menus from 6:30. It's really nice. Oh, no, I think she's Turkish. Sorry, I think she's Turkish. Well, it doesn't matter anyway, because I don't care what people are, as long as they're friendly and nice. You know, let's face it, there's plenty of people who are so miserable. And, you know, they're in all parts of the world, aren't they? Eh? There's nice people in the world and there's miserable people in the world. And I like nice, happy people. And she is so happy. She comes over smiling, a great big smile on her face. Hello, how are you today? Here's the menus. And then she walks off and she keeps an eye. I watched her. She keeps an eye on the tables. And as soon as you look up, she's there with a little notepad. And she writes down what you want. And my friend Ron, he's I'm sure he does it just to be awkward now and again, but he often adds bits or takes bits away from the menus, you know. So it's like, oh, can I have extra tomatoes? And she goes, well, he's got tomatoes. He said, can I have some extra grilled ones? Yeah, no problem. And I mean, you pay for it, but that's the service, isn't it? That's all right. And it comes over beautifully presented, I have to say. She brings it over, and so quick. We didn't have to wait at all. I've been in that place twice now. Once I had the full English fried breakfast, and the other time I had a lasagna. Oh, it's another one of my favourite meals. It's something that I actually share in common with Ross Patzelt. And his favourite meal also is a lasagna. Well, look, Ross, I don't know if you knew this about me, but one of my favourite meals too is lasagna. So at some point, I don't know when we will meet up, because I've never actually met Ross Patzelt in the flesh. I think he's a bit scared. I think Ross is probably one of those straight men, because he's got the girlfriend and the house and is still saving up for the goldfish, the cat and the dog at the moment. And probably babies as well. I know he wants to start a family. Oh, Ross. Ross, I would be honoured, I hope you don't mind me asking this, Ross, but I would be honoured if you have a little boy. Can you name it Christopher? Would you name it Christopher after your favourite chat show host? I would be so privileged. And in fact, anyone else who's listening or watching the show today, let's have an explosion of Christophers. Please name your children after me. Will you do that for me? No, I think Ross has never actually invited me down for a meal or one of those lovely lasagnas that his girlfriend Donna makes, who incidentally is nothing like what you'd expect, Donna. I have to tell you that. I mean, I've heard Ross's show many times, and he often mentions and talks about his girlfriend Donna, who's got her own website, donnacarter.com. You've got to have a look at it. I'm not saying anything really, you know. Far be it for me to criticise the choices of one's partners. But have a look. donnacarter.com. Apparently that's his girlfriend. That's it, right? Not saying anything else. But I think Ross is possibly one of those straight lads who automatically assume that all puffs fancy him. It seems to be... there seems to be this thing that a lot of straight men think that if you're a puff, you will automatically fancy them. And I'm sorry, Ross, it doesn't actually work that way. You've gotta be fit. Cristiano Ronaldo, you'll do. Justin Timberlake, you would have done, but you didn't take up my offer. Okay? Ross Patzelt, sorry, Ross, not for me. Now, don't think that's, you know, a thing against you at all. It's just one of those chemistry things, you know? Like when you walk past someone in the street. I'm sure you do it, Ross. Although, if your girlfriend's listening to the show at the moment, can you switch her off for a minute? Because I just want to say something to you. Man to man. You know, man to man. It's a bit like, Ross, you know, like you could be walking... Is she switched off now, is she? Send her away for a moment. Make a cup of tea or something like that, yeah? Is it her turn to make the tea or yours? Oh, it's yours, is it? Well, get her to make the tea and then say the next two you'll do, okay? So off you go. And by the way, if you get heart fluttering, Ross, try cutting down on the tea. Right? Okay. Oh, not heart. It's not. I'm sure it's not heart. It's chest. It's chest flutterings. Perhaps I've swallowed a bird. I swallowed a bird to catch the spider. I don't know where. La 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 la. Perhaps I'll die. Do you know that one? I swallowed a bird to catch the spider. I swallowed the spider to catch the fly. I don't know why. I swallowed a fly. Perhaps I'll die. Do you know that one? Oh, and it goes on and on. I know an old lady who swallowed a cat. She swallowed the cat to catch the mouse. She swallowed the mouse to catch the spider. She swallowed the spider to catch the fly. I don't know why she swallowed a fly. Perhaps she'll die. Do you know that one, Ross? Oh, anyway. Talking man to... Has she gone now? That would have sent her away, my singing. Ross, you know when you're walking down perhaps a street full of lots of people, I'm explaining chemistry here, and you're minding your own business, and then, as you're a straight man, and then suddenly this gorgeous girl, probably someone like Suko or Joy or Susan or one of the men, or I know, what's that lady's name? She's gone from my head for a minute. Sylvia, or Gloria in Florida. Yes, all our regular people, or Carmel up north. It wouldn't be my sister. You wouldn't do this for my sister. But you know when and suddenly your eyes go, oh, poor, look at that. You know, and you're a little bit like that. That's what I mean by chemistry. And I'm afraid, Ross, I have to tell you, if I was walking down the street and I didn't know you and you walked past me, then I'm afraid, I hate to say this, I'm afraid I wouldn't look round. Okay? So you'd be quite safe inviting me round for a lasagna. Also, I won't ask to stay at your house or anything like that. You're probably a little bit worried, you know, oh, what will he try if I invite him round to my house? It won't be anything like that, Ross, I'm telling you now. I will have my meal and leave immediately. In fact, if the lasagnas are really that good from your girlfriend, donnacarter.com, I wonder, is it possible, okay, is it possible that she could do a bit extra and put it in a little Tupperware box for me to take home? Because you know how it is. Me living on my own, no one to talk to at night, and doing a daytime, just me and the cat. And you, of course. You know, it is man living on his own, you know, might not always cook properly for himself. Well, donnacarter.com could do a little extra lasagna for me to eat throughout the week. How long does it last, eh? Can I request that you don't put too much salt and sugar in it if you use those two items? There we are. So, back to the heart fluttering. We've come full circle here. Watch out the tea. Down to 3 cups a day now. Replaced one of them with fresh orange juice that I learnt to, I thought was gorgeous, because when I went in that premises cafe, I had an orange juice in there and it was freshly squeezed. That's why I told you about the cafe. Do try and have a little trip down there. It's kind of in East London. You won't be disappointed. Really good food. And I remember now, yeah, she's Turkish. I do beg your pardon. She is Turkish. Lovely lady. I don't know what her name is. Apparently Ron goes in there all the time. If you go, although Ron tells me not to go in there on a Sunday because it gets packed. Absolutely packed in there, all right? So what was that again? The www.premisestudios.com. Now, I promised to give you the postal address, so that's coming up right now, boys and girls. Here we go. If you want to put pen to paper and send any mail to Chris Reardon, United Kingdom Talk, P.O. Box 4073, Bracknell, Bracknell, RG429ED. Once again, Chris Reardon, United Kingdom Talk, P.O. Box 4073, Bracknell, Bracknell, RG429ED, United Kingdom. Always great to hear from you. Shove a couple of Cadbury's cream eggs in there for me. No, don't send food in the post. It'll probably go bad. All right, it's time for some emails, boys and girls. Was there something else I was going to ask? Oh, I had a technical question. Where is it? Oh, yes. Oh, we were talking about lad things. So because Ross is a lad, and I thought if we've got any lads, you know what I mean by lads, don't you, lads? If we've got any lads listening, there are 2 shows that you might like to try. I haven't written down the address of this now. 1 minute. Sorry. Let me look it up again for you. There we are. 2 kind of laddie type podcasts that you might like to listen to. And I shall now give you the email address if I can find the thing now. The first of all is a show also done by some people here in Bracknell, in Royal Berkshire. And that is the Bracknell 4. That's another podcast there, okay? The main site is www.thebracknell4, and it's the number 4. I spell it TheBracknell 4, as in number 4.com. www.thebracknell4.com, which is 4 lads just talking away. And making a podcast after that. That one's quite good. And also, there's another one here. The Sunday Roast. Let me just check this. Have I got that right? Ooh, have I done this right? Hang on a minute. Oh, I've got to get this right here. There we are. Here's the other one. The other podcast you can find by going to www.playradiouk.com /talk, TALK, /Sunday Roast. Oh, have I got to put something on the end there? 1 minute. Let me see what happens if I just do that. Yes, .php. Okay. Oh, what have I done now? 1 minute. Oh, I'm getting all this wrong now, aren't I? Is that it? No. Yes, no. Oh, 1 minute. Sorry, let me get this right for you. There we are. Found it. www.playradio... Is it W or HTTP? Oh, dear. 1 minute. Is that 3 W's? There we are. Oh, that's it, yeah. www.playradiouk.com /talk, TALK, /sundayroast.php. And they're 2, I would say to you, laddie programmes, you know, for youngish. I say youngish because the main presenter of that is Matt. He's just turned 30 and he feels really bad about that. Isn't it funny, when you go over 40, it doesn't matter so much, you know, when these people, especially the really young ones, those that have just come out of their teenage from 19 to 20, they think that's the end of the world, a lot of them, you know that. They absolutely hate getting older. I tell you what, I'd never want to be a teenager again, would you? So just wanted to recommend 2 laddie type podcast for you there. You can always type in the Sunday Roast play into Google if that's a bit long for you to find. And of course, Bracknell 4, and it's the number 4. 2 laddie type podcasts there. If you ever got any other podcasts to recommend to people listening to this show, and it doesn't have to be the same thing, any podcast at all that perhaps you've subscribed to or you've heard now and again and you want to tell us all about it, then please feel free to do so. Always looking out for new things to tell people about. Use the usual email address, chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk to tell us about any podcast or any video podcasts, anything like that at all. Let us all know about it, okay? And why do you like them? What is it that you like about a particular podcast? Chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Right, here come the emails then. First of all, it's someone's birthday. Yes, Carmel's Dave. Hello, Dave. Is he going to listen to this? Oh, hang on. I've got my happy birthday. Yeah, we got that ready. Yep. It says, this was the end of Carmel's email that we started reading out at the end of the last show, and we didn't get to the end of it. And she said, we're halfway down the email. Oh, first of all, she says, as I'm typing this, you're saying that you have buried Tiny's ashes. That was a few shows ago now. She says, good, I'm glad you found the time was right for you to do so. Yes, when I collected my cat's ashes, my cat Tiny, who died back in January. Can you believe how long ago that was now? That was 8... 1 minute, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 4th of Jan, 4th of February. It's 2 months ago now. Where does the time go? 2 months ago since my cat died. Anyway, so I got the ashes back, and I recently buried them in the garden. And for a while they sat on top of like a shelving thing in the kitchen. And I thought, well, I'll bury them when the time. And then I was out one day and I saw these lily of the valley plants. And I thought, I'll buy some of those. And I got them home and I thought, hang on a minute, why don't I put the lily of the valley plants on top of Tiny's ashes? And that's what I did. It's funny how you kind of find the right time to do things, isn't it? It's like I was saying earlier, you know, giving up smoking. You've got to find the right day that suits you, which isn't necessarily a day that you're not stressed out. When I gave up smoking all those years ago, what was I doing? I was about to move, and I didn't want the new house. Well, it's not a new house, but I didn't want my house smelling of cigarette smoke like indeed my flat did in Wandsworth. So you have to find the right time to do things. So thanks for that, Carmel. She says, oh, and by the way, it's Dave's 60th birthday on Friday. So I'm having a surprise party for him. So this show will be the day after his birthday. I hope that's okay. His family are coming from Wales, so it will be a nice surprise from him. And could you say a big, big thank you to my bestest friend, Pat Kenny. Hello, Pat. Thank you, thank you, thank you for the friendship, the friends we're seeing. I'm just changed the words to a little ABBA song now. Without her, I would not have made this possible, and not to forget Sandra and Jenny, my friends. All right, so Pat Kenny in capital letters. Pat, look at this. Pat Kenny, can you see that? I'm holding this to a little. There it is. Pat Kenny there. Pat Kenny. Look, 1 minute. Pat Kenny in capital letters. Your friend Carmel wrote this. Not to forget Sandra and Jenny, her friends as well. We will listen to your show Saturday morning, okay? So that's perfect. This particular podcast will be Saturday. I know it might not be Saturday for you, depending on which station you're listening to and what time it is and indeed what day. But this show actually will come out on that particular Saturday morning. She says, with hangovers, no doubt. So don't be too loud, Chris. I wouldn't do that. Pat Kenny! Pat Kenny! Sandra, Jenny, they've all got headaches. Well, that serves you right for drinking so much. But more importantly, Dave's 60th birthday. Here we go. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Dave. Happy birthday to you. All right, Dave. There we are. Happy birthday, Dave. Especially from your dear Carmel. Isn't that nice, eh? Oh. As always, if you would like a birthday sung for you, then always let me know. And I'm only too happy to sing for you. Doesn't matter who it is, how old you are, where you are. If you want a little birthday song out like that, if you can give me a couple of weeks' notice, maybe 2 weeks before your birthday, then I can sort it all out. Because there's great preparation gone into this programme, dear. There is. You don't think I just sit here and chat, do you? And not do any preparation? Certainly not. Good God. Hello to Kevin. Kevin is a relatively new listener or viewer to the show. I think you're a viewer, aren't you, Kevin? Who writes this on the MySpace thing. And says, hi, Chris. Just a quick note to say how much I've enjoyed your radio talk shows. And as you are a few months younger than me, I hope you don't mind me saying that you are inspiration and a joy to listen to. What does that mean, an inspiration? Why am I... People have said that before, and I don't quite know what is meant by that. I know it's a nice thing, okay? I know it's quite a nice thing to say, but when you say I'm an inspiration, what do I inspire you to do, I wonder? I like to hope perhaps that I inspire people to be nice and to try and be happy, even though sometimes it's hard to be happy, isn't it? I mean, for many, many people, this has been the most dreadful year so far. We're 3 months into the year and pets keep dying. I don't think any people have died that I know or have heard about this year. I'm trying to think, because quite often people who become friends to the show, and whoever's watching or listening this at the moment, I consider you a friend to the show. But quite often people like to share of any losses or indeed happinesses as well. And we have had one wedding. Yes, we've had Romy and Julian from Argentina, who got married last year. Do you remember? Have they had their? I don't think they had their 1 year anniversary, and they told me all about it and sent photographs of the wedding. And then moved to the UK, and I actually met up with them while they're here, and they're still here, doing quite well. But people share their losses as well, and I don't think we've lost anyone this year so far. Fingers crossed. But yeah, people have been getting ill, and some quite serious things. And pets dying and people losing jobs. It has been the most horrendous start to a year that I've ever known. Even myself, something wasn't quite right around the January period, which I know I didn't tell you exactly about it. You don't need to know exactly about it. Might tell you at some point, I don't know, but not now. And even myself, I had the most dreadful start to the year, and the cat dying as well. And now my sister, she's lost pets, and oh dear me. But if you can smile or try and be happy through your troubles, then I think if I can inspire people to do that, then the world is a better place. It's very hard sometimes, I think, to be happy. It really is, especially if you've had something terrible happen. And I've got a lovely email coming up in a moment from one of our regular people in, I think she's in New York, in New Jersey. That's coming up in a second or two. And, I mean, if someone has just become very ill or died or something like that, or you've lost a beloved pet, it's very hard to sit there and try and be laughing and jolly. Well, perhaps you shouldn't be laughing and jolly, but when... Do you know what I'm saying here? I don't know how to put this into words, but you should always try and be happy, perhaps for other people. I mean, there are some people and they're just so depressing, aren't they? It doesn't matter whether they've had a good day or a bad day, and they start talking and they're just so depressing. I mean, James Dean is one of those, to be honest. Whenever he rings me up, it's, hello Chris, it's James here, how are you? And here we go again. Try and be happy. I know it's hard sometimes. Someone regular listener to the show recently lost his job. He doesn't want you to know who it is, but he's in the doldrums at the moment, really. And of course, I suppose when you've had the same job for so long, it's difficult to get out there and do interviews, isn't it? What do you do? It's not like someone just come out of school, they have an interview, and after a couple of interviews, I suppose it becomes easier. But when you've been in a job for so long, and take for example myself, if I was to ever give up the DJing and all the entertainment stuff I do, and the bits I do with property, I would have to go for an interview, I suppose, with firms and what have you. What do I do? It's very, very different now. All these firms, employers, they want CVs and all. I've never done I've got a CV. I have got a CV, but I've never ever handed it in to a potential employer. I've never done one. And why do you have to do all that? Is it just the employers becoming lazy? And when you've got to put all your qualifications on there, haven't you, and all that business. And I've always said qualifications, they're just bits of paper. That's all they are. If you want to find the right man or woman for the job, you've got to go in, you've got to get them in there, sit them down and blooming well talk to them. Don't rely on a bit of paper, for Christ's sake, to tell you about everyone's life. And besides, a lot of them, I expect quite a few people put lies down on there. So when you say inspiration, I hope sometimes we can spread a bit of happiness. And I know we spread sadness sometimes when something bad goes wrong with someone. But when something bad is, this is like a family. When something bad goes wrong with someone and they write in and tell us all about it, we do, all of us, do actually feel for each other, I think. And last year, we had a few people lose people. And emails come in, nice emails from others offering support. And my sister's cat, she just lost another cat this year, Buster, the big cat, and he was only 2 years old. It always seems so unfair when an animal or a person or a young child dies, don't they? For whatever reason, whether it's a disease or a terrible accident or some nastiness. It gets me when I see on the telly a young child of just a few years or even months or days that's died, or you hear of it in the street. Perhaps so and so has just had a baby and it was born dead or something like that, and that really gets me. And you wonder what him upstairs, why does he allow that to happen? Don't know. Anyway, back to this email here from Kevin, who says, I hope you don't mind me saying you're an inspiration and a joy to listen to. I truly hope this message reaches you in the best of health and happiness. Have a great week. And that's from Kevin. So thank you for that, Kevin, via eSpace with that one. And about a month ago, I got this other email in, and it's quite a long one, so I wanted to give it the time that it certainly deserves. Now, Judith lost her mum last year. Can you believe it's a whole year ago? So long ago now. And she wrote this letter because I recently wrote to her and asked how she was doing. And it says, Dear Chris, thanks very much for staying in touch. You're a true blue, staying in touch with a loyal listener. I try. Who has been missing in action these past months. You know, sometimes when you get a regular emailer and suddenly the emails stop, you kind of wonder what's happened. Some people, they move away from the show and do other things, which quite frankly, Judith, it hurts. It's like a knife going into my back and being twisted. It really is. But I understand that, you know, we all like a bit of variety, and some people, they dip in and out of the show now and again. They don't watch all of them, which means they don't get all of the lovely stories that we have to tell each other. But there you are. That's all right. And you notice it, especially if someone keeps writing, like Suko, for example. I don't hear from Suko much anymore because she's a busy bee, aren't you, Suko? She's busy. She's laying there at the moment. Suko listens in bed with her husband, who snores a lot. Jerry snores an awful lot. So Suko takes me to bed and puts me in her ear holes with her earbuds. And she sits there chuckling in bed. Oh, but when the emails kind of slow down, you find, oh, are they all right? Or what's happened there? But yeah, so I do think of people, Judith, when you don't hear from them for a while. Judith says, the demands of my own business and some health issues of friends leave me very little time for anything else lately. However, I save all your wonderful podcasts, and then when I'm driving somewhere, I get my Chris fix and listen to several at the same time. I'm a bit behind and regret that I have not been able to respond to many things you've discussed. Oh, it doesn't matter. You can always bring up old subjects. No trouble at all, Judith, all right? Here is something that I would be glad for you to share with your audience family. In one show recently, you asked if we ever feel we've been touched or visited by a loved one that has passed on. You mentioned that you knew your dad had touched you, literally, on the day of his funeral. Yeah. If you're new to the show, you won't know this, but my dad's funeral was in January 1996. And after the funeral, Mum, who has also since passed away, my mum died in November 2000, I was sitting in Dad's armchair, and there were uncles and aunties up there, and a couple of friends as well, I think. And Mum was running around doing what mums do, sausage rolls and tea and looking after everyone. And I was sitting in the armchair, not quite feeling like anything was going on in there. You know, when you're a bit out of it, it just didn't feel like I was really there. And I felt someone put their both hands on my shoulders, standing behind me, and push down really hard, quite hard. It was definitely pushed down. And when I looked around, there was no one there, and I knew that it was Dad. I just knew. I'm sure you've had experiences like these. If you've got any to share, let us know. Let's share these things if you want to. Of course, I know they're very private to some people, but let us know. Chris at unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Chris at unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Judith says, it brought tears to my eyes. I want to share with you an experience I had with my beloved mother this past summer, probably about 7 months after she died. Right after Mum passed, I prayed to her that she would give me a sign. I just wanted to know that she was okay, but really, it was coming from my need to connect with her one more time. To see a vision of her would be too much to ask, and probably a little frightening. But I asked anyway. Months passed, nothing. I had not been to the cemetery where Mum is buried with my father and brother Tim since her funeral. Pine Lawn is a military ceremony which looks like Arlington ceremony in Washington, D.C., with small white headstones. My father was a retired army officer. Way out on Long Island, New York. I live in New Jersey. In July, I went out to the North Fork on Long Island for a weekend with friends. I passed Pine Lawn and decided that I would finally stop and pay a visit on my way home on Sunday. Driving back on Sunday afternoon, it was cloudy, and then the sky opened up with lightning, thunder and a real downpour. My windshield wipers could not keep up with the rain. I know what you mean. I know what that rain's like in New York. I've seen in the States. I know what it's like there. I began to think that I would not be able to stop at the cemetery, as I had no umbrella or even a slicker. What is a slicker? I don't know what a slicker is. Even a slicker. What's a slicker, Judith? Tell us. As I approached the exit to get off the expressway, the rain started to let up a little, but the sky was still very dark. I decided to try and get to Mum's grave. Pine Lawn is an enormous cemetery, acres of little white headstones. I don't know where their grave was located. Fortunately, though the office was closed, there was a grave locator kiosk open, and I printed out directions to her grave. As I approached the plot, the rain continued to come down and the sky was really dark. When I got to the headstone, I knelt to say a prayer. I had brought a little flower with me and placed it there. I must say I was overcome with emotion and put my head down on the stone and wrapped my arms around it. I've done that as well, actually, Judith, at my mum and dad's grave. There was no one around, so I didn't care what I looked like. No, it doesn't matter. Everyone's doing the same in there. Don't worry about that, Judith. I started to talk to my mother when I suddenly felt a stabbing bolt of sunlight and heat on my back. I blinked and tried to look up at the sky, and it was as dark as ever, except for a tiny small parting of the clouds where this stream of light was coming down on me. The sun was so strong, I couldn't look up for long. Immediately, I knew that I had just had my sign. I felt Mum's presence so strongly. Minutes later, the sky was completely dark again, and the rain continued for the rest of the day. As I drove home, I knew something very special had happened to me, and I was very grateful. I felt a peace come over me. You, as in me, had a very special and loving mother, and so did I. For that we are very, very lucky. Don't know if I will ever get another visit from Mum, but at least I will forever know in my heart that she is for sure in heaven and doing fine. Take care, from Judy. Isn't that lovely? What a lovely thing to have a little sign like that come down from someone who's passed on. If you've ever had that, then do let me know, okay? Chris at unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Chris at unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. What are we doing for time? Oh, we're nearly finished now, aren't we? A couple of little emails here. First of all, from Doug in Akeley, who tells me he is Neptune DLD on YouTube. Yes, I knew there was... I get very confused. Unfortunately, with the internet, everyone seems to have nicknames, including... And it's never quite... You're never quite sure who you're talking to. Certainly the worst case of this seems to be on YouTube, where I often get messages, lovely messages from people, and you don't know their real names. It'd be something like... And sometimes it's just a string of letters and a number as well, so never quite sure about that. Finally today from David on the Isle of Wight, just thought I was tell you I was listening to your YouTube show on the 7th of March and you were talking about high definition television. Sky are not the only ones to do this now. There's a new platform called FreeSat where you buy the digital HD box and then that's it. The HD channels are free. And if you're in the UK you might want to have a look at that. FreeSat, FREESAT.co.uk. freesat.co.uk. And that's it. Thanks David on the Isle of Wight. That's it from the show today. Don't forget, always feel free to join in. We should have Joy or Gwen on the phone on one of the shows, one of the soon next couple of shows come out. Chris at unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. See you on the next show. Bye-bye.